25 minutes on to 7 o'clock. This is where we say good morning to you, Grenada, Carriacou, PD, Martinique, the rest of the Eastern Caribbean, the rest of the world. It is Good Morning Grenada for today, Monday. It is the 7th day of the 7th month, which is July. And of course, I'm Gordon Joseph. And so happy to be with you this morning. As always, I always look forward to your company and sharing my time with you on a morning basis. It is a good day to have a good day in a good way. Reaching out and saying good morning to all those of you who are listening us in the diaspora. So glad to have you with us this morning, and it's indeed a pleasure. It's rainy, it's overcast on the outside, but I can guarantee you that if you share some time with us, spend some time with us, we will instill some sunlight into your day. Remember, it is a good day to have a good day in a good way. Is there anything that is having you frightened? Are you fearful about anything? That's a waste of time. Pray about it. As my good friend Morris Jig would say, why worry when you can pray? Good morning to you, Jig, and Louise, and the children, the entire home circle. Good morning, the folks inside of Coles Gap. Mr. West, good morning. Mr. West is back on his horse again. Good morning to Carriacou and PD Martinique, the folks on the northern side of the island. Good morning, Satez. Donley Alexis, good morning. I met a goodly gentleman over the weekend. I think it's Ralston Belfon. Yeah, he says you're talking about McDonald College as though, well, you alone that went to McDonald College. Man, just proud to be, an ex-student of that great institution. Mr. Andal and your team, good morning, good morning. It's 23 minutes on to 7. Good morning to the folks at His Majesty's Prison. Hope you all are doing fine. Ozzy, good morning to you. Yeah, good morning, Mr. Aban. Good morning, Janice Charles, brother. Yeah, just hold the fort, bro. So the commissioner and all your staff members, good morning. My good partner from APRI too. I'm really not good with names, but I want you to know that. Whatever you are going through at this time, I know what you might be feeling. You're not alone. There's someone somewhere out there who might be willing to change or trade positions with you. Yeah. Good morning to all the cricket lovers, cricket fans. I am through with West Indies. Really, really, really. I've said this a million times before, but I'm through with this commitment to supporting West Indies cricket. I am going to look at lawn tennis now instead. Yeah, this is, come on, man, come on. Who does that? Life is easy. Come on. And it's no fair. And I'm still not blaming the players. Administration is a problem. Pick the best team that's available, man. Come on, you're having me showing my anger and dismay this morning on TV. Come on, man. Yeah, I think I'll go back and look at the lawn tennis. Maybe we should just scrap West Indies cricket and look for another sporting discipline to excel in. Maybe we should have a West Indies athletics team or something like that, man. And I'm not blaming the players, all right? I'm not blaming the players. Players have some blame to get as well in terms of their application and so forth and self-development and stuff. But pick the best team that is available, man. Duh, come on. 20 minutes on to 7 o'clock. The word of the day today, that word is wistful. Wistful. W-I-S-T-F-U-L. Wistful. And it means showing a feeling of vague longing. Showing a feeling of vague longing. Here's how we can use that word in a sentence. She had a wistful look as she watched the sunset. Yeah, she was longing to be, maybe in someone's arms and watching the sunset, Good morning to Victoria, Sunset City. Brother B, good morning to you. The folks in Guave, good morning. Yeah. Monk Nesbit, my friends in Monk Nesbit, good morning to you. Yeah, Sister Mary and the team. All the Nulo employees, good morning, good morning, good morning. Munich, good morning. Mama Can, good morning. Petlin, how are you doing? I hope you're doing fine, yeah? I hope you are doing fine. Nice. Mama Can, good morning. Moyaki and family again, man. I know how tough this time is, but tough times don't last. Tough people do. So you gotta just hold on. Yeah, hold on. Everybody. Nadisha, good morning to you. Good morning. It's time for the motivational tip of the day, which says, on this journey, twists and turns, there's no straight line. End each day with reflection. Review your successes and areas for improvement. Reflection helps refine your journey. Yeah, at the end of the day, you sit back in a quiet corner and you go through your day in your mind, and you review the areas that you did well, and that you could strengthen them, and you also look for the areas that need to be improved on. A little reflection, it helps redefine and refine your journey. There's always an easier way to do something. The journey nowadays, it's always said you don't work hard, you work smart, you work intelligently. You're not alone. Not alone. Good morning to all the police officers. Good morning, Corporal Troy Paul and the team at the traffic department. Good morning to the entire rank and file of the RGPF. Hope everybody is fine. What's buzzing this morning? Buzzing. Let me tell you. Well, the Power Soca prelims completed last night, and the artists are anxiously awaited. They're waiting with bated breaths to hear if their name will be on that list. Also, what's buzzing? Spice Island Beach Resort appoints Sheldon Kins Douglas as a resort manager. In the region, Suriname elects the First Lady as head of state. Internationally, Trump slams ex-ally Musk's political party as ridiculous. And in sports, I'm not reading it, but I'm just going to say it. Australia crushed West Indies, and it takes an unassailable 2-0 lead in the 3-match series. Yes. Yeah, that's what buzzing. Lift your voice and sing. Praise the Lord. I want to say a special good morning to Bishop Bonaparte and his team from Bishop Bonaparte, he's the bishop for the New Testament Church of God churches in Grenada. And he's a medical doctor by profession, so he came down with his team, a number of Jamaicans and medical practitioners, and they were, extending their services pro bono to communities around the island. Went as far as planting some trees. They teamed up with the Ministry of Agriculture and planted some trees. Thank you. I say thank you on behalf of the Grenadian people. Oh, as a matter of fact, this morning I will be joined by the Minister for Health, the Honorable Philip Telesford. Yeah, as we do some talking on, occurrences in the hospital and so forth. So we look forward to that. Gigi, Giles, and Denzo, good morning. Denzo, you're sleeping, right? Good, nice. Folks, it's 15 minutes on to 7 o'clock. It's time for us to head into the AM edition of News, Sports, and the Weather. Praise the Lord. We gotta praise the Lord. When trouble...
Mobility, a common theme woven into the very fabric of human history. From ancient wanderers to modern explorers, our instinct to move, to seek something greater, and to grow has always driven us forward. Imagine a journey into pathways of boundless opportunities and endless possibilities. A collective future where the vibrant rhythms of the Caribbean, rich culture, and welcoming community create unforgettable experiences. Beyond citizenship by investment, we believe in our collective investment of time, resources, and energy that fosters innovation, creates jobs, and enriches lives, driving the growth of an entire nation. The Investment Migration Agency Grenada boasts over a decade of exceptional service and remains committed to guiding you toward global mobility and economic freedom through investment. Your journey becomes our shared story of progress and prosperity. This is an invitation to be part of something greater, something enduring. Begin your journey at imagrenada.gd. I am a Grenada. Unlock the possibilities.
This is the GBN Morning News for today, Monday, July 7th, 2025. Coming up in the news, Power Soca prelims completed. A Spice Island Beach Resort appoints Sheldon Kins Douglas as resort manager. In the region, Suriname elects first woman head of state. Internationally, Trump slams ex-ally Musk's political party as ridiculous. And in sports, Australia crushed West Indies. It takes on a saleable 2-0 lead in the series. We've got the details to these and more after these messages.
Wow, girl, some cool air finally.
I know, right? I just installed the air conditioning. I'm glad you're here. Look at my Grenlec bill from this month. Tell me what's different.
Well, the bill analysis is showing that the number of units you used went down each month. Congrats on that.
But look at the total charges line. It's like I'm paying more for less.
Pay special attention to the fuel charge and adjustment. As you can see, the fuel cost was higher during those months.
So when Grenlec has to pay more for fuel, I get the charges?
Well, yes. I mean, when your suppliers charge more for the flowers and fruits out of season, don't you have to charge your clients more too?
Well, that is true.
But look at the last couple of bills. The fuel charge dropped and the adjustment was a credit. So you actually paid less per kilowatt hour or unit.
And I was really happy about that too. I get it. No matter what the fuel charge and fuel adjustment charge are.
I'm ready to defend my crown. I, Guana, will be performing live, defending Carana's Soca Monarch. All they think a little curry meet me on the stage. July 25th, 31st, and August 8th, meet me on the stage.
We wild, we in style. When you see me chillin'
and on a branch by myself. No company, no friends. Oh my gosh, I stumble when I meet till I tumble. Woman come in a bungle, wanna come from me jungle. Oh my gosh, I stumble when I meet till I tumble. Woman come in a bungle, wanna come from me jungle.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Gordon Joseph with the details. 4 nights of preliminary round of competition for the Power Soca Monarch ended on Sunday night. The Spice Mass Corporation hosted the event, which saw more than 115 artists vying for a spot in the semi-final round of the event. The preliminary days spanned from Thursday, July 3rd to Sunday, July 6th at the Carnage Basketball Court. Artists now await Spice Mass official semi-final list. The Spice Island Beach Resort has appointed Sheldon Kins Douglas to the position of resort manager as of July 1st, 2025. From January 2024, Kins Douglas had served as the resort's commercial director, where he played a pivotal role in enhancing brand visibility, increasing occupancy, and expanding the resort's global market. A Grenadian hospitality management professional, Kins Douglas brings over 2 decades of experience in luxury hotel management, tourism marketing, and brand communications to his new leadership role. He earned a Bachelor of Science degree in Marketing and Tourism Management from one of the world's leading hospitality management programs at Cornell University in New York. His tenure with Spice Island Beach Resort began early in his career when he served as assistant manager from 2001 to 2006, gaining first-hand experience in operations, guest relations, and service excellence. Congratulations and Godspeed to you. Joseph Andel, Minister for Foreign Affairs, Trade and Export Development, is leading a delegation to the 49th regular meeting of the Conference of Heads of Government of the CARICOM underway in Montego Bay, Jamaica. The meeting brings together heads of government and high-level representatives from across the community to deliberate on several pressing regional and international issues. Among the key agenda items are matters related to climate resilience, food and nutrition security, regional telecommunications, and the ongoing situation in Haiti. The conference is expected to consider the revised regional framework 2025 to 2035 for achieving development resilient to climate change. This updated framework, developed through broad consultations with member states and key stakeholders, seeks to strengthen regional coordination and advance collective action aligned with the Sustainable Development Goals and the Paris Agreement. Heads of government will also receive a comprehensive update on the work of the Special Ministerial Task Force on Food Production and Food Security. The discussions will focus on the progress made under the Vision 25 by 25 initiative and present a roadmap for its extension towards 2030 with emphasis on strengthening intra-regional trade, import replacement, and value-added production. That concludes the first segment of news. The local segments stay with us, the regional and international developments, along with the sports and the weather. They're straight ahead. In the region, Jennifer Girlings Simmons Sunday became the first woman to become elected president of Suriname. Lawmakers supported the doctor and former parliamentary speaker more than a month after voters in this Dutch-speaking CARICOM country went to the polls to elect a new government on May 25th. I come into this office to serve, and I will use all my knowledge, strength, and insight to make our wealth available to all our people, so said the 71-year-old president-elect, who will be sworn into office on July 16th. Soca giant Skinny Fabulous, Erupt, and fireman Hooper delivered a show-stopping performance at the Soca Monarch competition for Vincy Mas 2025. Thousands of patrons gathered at the Victoria Park for this ultimate showdown. Skinny Fabulous and fireman Hooper won the competition with 396 points, followed by Bongo Prime, and in fourth place went to El Pank with 358, while there was a tie for fourth place between Fire Empress and Dimez and Pixel, who each got 347 points. The Raga Soca competition was also held alongside the Soca Monarch competition. That category was dominated by Bongo Prime with a score of 395, followed by Dimez and Pixel, who came in second with 354 points. Diffusion and Angie Maya took the third and fourth spots with 333 and 332 points respectively. Looking further afield, United States President Donald Trump has slammed former ally Elon Musk's launch of a new political party as ridiculous, deepening the Republicans' feud with the man who was once his biggest backer. The world's richest man was almost inseparable from Trump as he headed the cost-cutting Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, but they fell out hard over the president's big, beautiful tax and spending mega bill. The death toll from the catastrophic floods that hit the state of Texas and the United States has risen to 82 as the search for the missing continues and officials face questions over a failure to evacuate people in hard-hit Kerr County. Texas Governor Greg Abbott said on Sunday that at least 41 people remained unaccounted across the southern state 3 days after the deluge, and that more could be missing. He promised authorities will continue to work around the clock to find the missing and warned that additional rounds of heavy rains lasting into Tuesday could produce more life-threatening flooding. In Kerr County, Sheriff Larry Lether said on Sunday that searchers have found the bodies of 68 people, including 28 children, many of whom went missing from Camp Mystic, a Christian summer camp for girls. And finally, Israeli forces have killed at least 82 people across Gaza, including 39 in Gaza City alone, as United States President Donald Trump said he believed a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas could happen this week. Survivors of the Israeli strikes in Gaza City described apocalyptic scenes on Sunday as residents in the Sheikh Radwan neighborhood retrieved body parts of victims and scrambled to rescue those trapped under the rubble. That's the regional and international news. Stay with us. The sporting highlights are straight ahead. Good morning, sporting fans. Sadly, I report this story this morning. Australia overwhelmed the West Indies by 133 runs in the second test in Grenada on Sunday to take an unassailable 2-0 lead in the series with one match remaining. The touring side dominated after a promising morning for the hosts, during which Shamar Joseph gave Westerners hope with a superb 4-wicket haul to dismiss Australia for 243. Set 277 for victory on a deteriorating track. However, the West Indies slumped to 143 all out. Australia fast bowler Josh Hazlewood struck with his 5th delivery, trapping John Campbell LBW for a duck, and Mitchell Stark removed Casey Carty for 10. Bo Webster dismissed Craig Brathwaite for 7 in his 100th test, a milestone match he will not look back on fondly. Cummins then delivered the knockout punch, bowling Brandon King 14 with a delivery that straightened just enough to clip off the stump. Shea Hope's dismissal for 17, caught and bowled by Hazlewood, attempting to put West Indies in deeper trouble. Roston Chase made a spirited 34 that included a magnificent 6 off Stark, but his LBW dismissal on the stroke of lunch effectively ended any realistic hopes of a recovery. Justin Greaves fell LBW to Stark for 2 and although Alzari Joseph struck back-to-back 6s of Nathan Lyon and Shamar Joseph hit 3 maximum in his 24, the end was inevitable. So sad. Need to go back to the drawing board. That concludes the sporting highlights this segment. Stay with us. We'll have more sports for you in our luncheon edition, and of course in our primetime newscast. The weather report is up next.
Whether you're refreshing a bedroom or giving your home a bold new look, the Color Shop has the perfect paint and tools to make it happen, inside and out. With quality finishes for every surface and accessories to match, we make painting easy from start to finish. Whether it's a DIY weekend or a contractor starting a brand new project, the Color Shop is the trusted choice.
And folks, for the latest weather forecast, we join forecaster Finbar Frank at the forecast desk at the MBIA. Good morning to you, Finbar.
Hey, good morning. It's a cloudy morning across the state. Down here at the southernmost end, the winds are near calm, very light winds, pressure above the mean and rising at 1016.1 millibars. Present temperature 26.1, orange 91%. Maximum temperature here within the last day went up to 31.4. Minimum temperature last night 24.6. Please note all temperatures are in Celsius. In terms of rain here within the last day, we had 6.5, hence total for the month goes up to 14 millimeters of rain, once again only for the airport. Now let's take a look at the forecast for the day and the nighttime. The weather expected to be partly cloudy to cloudy with showers, some of which may be heavy by midday, and there's also a low chance of thunder just about midday into the early part of the afternoon. Maximum temperature should get up to near 31. Winds easterly to southeasterly at 10 to 20 miles per hour, costing higher at times. Waves should be 4 to 6 feet, hence seas will be moderate. Tides are low now, should be low high this afternoon, just about 2 o'clock. Sunset 6:36. Sunrise on Tuesday 5:48. Just to recap the forecast for the day and the nighttime. The weather expected to be partly cloudy to cloudy with showers, some of which will be heavy near midday, and there's also a low chance of thunder showers during that same time. All of this is due to a tropical wave that is just to the east of the islands and should be crossing by evening time. That's it from the Met Office. I'm from my Frank.
Thank you very much, Finbar. Have yourself a good Monday and enjoy the rest of your day.
Same to you. Bye.
Folks, the weather forecast came to you with the kind compliments of Rennick & Thompson Company Limited. It's 5 minutes after 7 o'clock. To end the news, a recap of the headlines. Power Soca Prelims completed last evening. Spice Island Beach Resort appoints Sheldon Kins Douglas as resort manager. In the region, Suriname elects the first woman head of state. Internationally, Trump slams ex-ally Musk political party as ridiculous. And in sports, Australia crushed West Indies to take an unassailable 2-0 lead. That has been the morning edition of news for today, Monday, the 7th day of July, 2025. On behalf of the entire news department, I am Gordon Joseph, thanking you for viewing and listening and wishing you a productive day and extending that invitation to you to stick and stay with the network because we are with you anywhere and everywhere. Don't forget, motorists and pedestrians alike, stay with us. The weather, not the weather, but the traffic report comes up in a matter of minutes. Stick and stay with us.
Fitness Revolution 11 2025, 16 days of fun, fitness, laughter, energy. I just want to encourage everybody to come down to both Tantin, Old Trafford playing field and Monroe's Granans for our eventful fun, fitness and giveaways. Fitness Revolution 11, one and all. See you there.
Time to get charged up for the Fuller Energy Home Series as West Indies takes on Australia in a fiery test match.
Freedom is driven to pursue that passion that keeps you up at night and makes you smile in your sleep. Freedom is bold to embrace the possibilities that can open up your world and conquer new heights. Freedom is fabulous with bits and pieces that enhance the quality of your life. Freedom is what you do with the flexibility to change path or direction when you need to. Freedom breeds ambition and purpose while having loads of fun along the way. But most of all, freedom is well deserved for the road traveled and the journey still to come. Unleash your freedom with Nexa Credit Union. Call us on 440-1354 or visit our website to pre-apply. Apply now. Freedom awaits. Terms and conditions apply. Nexa Credit Union, with you wherever your road leads.
Calling the CARICOM community, assembling Global Africa, the 4th edition of the Afri-Caribbean Trade Investment Forum. Active 2025 is coming to St. George, Grenada, this 28th to 29th July. Join government and business leaders, investors, and trade and finance institutions to explore the theme, Resilience and Transformation, Enhancing Africa-Caribbean Economic Cooperation in an Era of Global Uncertainty. Be there as we stand together to strengthen our commercial ties, to promote shared trade and investment opportunities, and unlock prosperity for Africa, the Caribbean, and the wider diaspora. The 4th Afri-Caribbean Trade and Investment Forum. Reserve your place now at active2025.com.
It's a busy world, and we all know the saying, time is money. Meet Candice and Oliver. They both have busy days ahead. Let's see how that goes. Candice is in a rush, off to the bank, again. Oh, looks like she didn't plan for traffic, or this long line either. Now let's check in on Oliver. His morning starts a little differently. Using his phone, Oliver makes a peer-to-peer transfer and pays his bills, all while having his morning coffee. At the store, Oliver checks his finances with online banking. Candice? Still waiting. Back to Oliver. He stops at the bank to meet his loan officer. While waiting, he schedules a payment and makes a wire transfer. Wondering about Candice? Yup, still waiting. Candice could be like Oliver if she uses Co-op Bank's e-solutions. Make your day easier with Co-op Bank's swift, simple, and secure e-banking platform. Bank on your terms, from anywhere, at any time. Click, tap, done. Banking just got easier.
Welcome home.
Served Grenada for decades, we are the #1 and largest electrical supplier.
Hi, welcome to Sunny Electrical. How may I help?
We offer electrical wire and accessories, tools, and appliances for all residential, commercial, and industrial applications, which is what we are known for. And we expanded our products with new innovative ways to modernize your home. New homeowners will be captivated in our lighting showrooms.
Some more pendant lights here. These are very multifunctional because they can work for kitchens, living rooms, bedrooms.
We have a wide selection of lighting, ranging from indoor to outdoor and solar. We are also available for site visit services to assist you with selecting the perfect light for your forever home. We are located at Dusty Highway in Grenada and St. George. Sudden Electrical. Best value, expert advice, quality products. We hope to see you soon.
Bang, well, you know, my name is Boogie B, and this is my partner here, Little John. Well, you know what's going on? GBN have a big thing coming up on the Canada. I want to beat Little John, and I'm going to beat Little John.
You can't beat no anything that is dollar and roti.
Yeah.
Yo, you know
bring me down the road.
Let me sing the truth.
No song. Tell him bring his song on the Carnage. I have a meeting.
Alright, but you don't know, GBN Spice of the Carnage live. Don't forget this year, 2025, Boogie B, Little John, yo, mass.
I'm gonna be there. He's gonna be there. You don't miss it.
The way them y'all getting on ya, they making me hunger. I don't know how long I got that with again. They shaking their bumper, they raising me temper. And right in the center, y'all are feeling a pain.
Folks, it's 13 minutes after 7 o'clock, and we now join Corporal Troy Paul of the Traffic Department of the RGPF. Good morning, Corporal Paul.
Good morning to you, and good morning to all your listeners, especially our drivers this morning. It's a beautiful day this morning. We had a little showers this morning, but the sun is coming out in all its glory. But it would be remiss of me if I don't give persons the traffic update this morning. So far, our traffic at the moment is relatively quiet in most of the areas. We anticipated that it would have been a little bit heavier, but the cricket has since come to an end yesterday. So that will reduce some of the volume of traffic that we will be having on our road this morning. So persons can expect that a little bit of easement this morning as they traverse along, especially the Grand Dance Public Road heading on to the National Stadium. But nevertheless, we want to encourage drivers to please drive safely. As reported by most of the areas, the traffic is light, but we expect it to get a little heavier as we get to the 8 o'clock hour. The areas of Calivini and the Grandlands continue to remain heavy as we get closer to the 8 o'clock hour. These areas where most of our personnel travels to work, so we expect that volume of traffic on a morning time. We don't expect it to be that heavy in terms of traffic congestion, but we expect a little congestion this morning, as I stated, as we get closer to the 8 o'clock hour. Yes, so no accidents reported within the past 10 minutes, so our roads are free from obstruction. So persons, as I said, can get to their work freely and on time. And that is if you left the regular time you're supposed to get to work on time. I just want to encourage persons to continue to drive safely. Reporting the accident state for Sunday, which was yesterday, we had a total of 6 accidents. 4 minor and 2 serious accidents. The serious ones are a bit of injuries where persons had to seek medical attention, and the traffic department want to encourage persons to drive safely. Over the weekend, we had quite a bit of accidents. We had one where we had a total of 17 accidents reported for one day, and that is alarming to us, and that is Friday gone. So we have to look at the causes and see how we can help curb those accidents along our road. But we want to encourage persons to please drive safely. Please drive safely. And that will be all for us this morning. And the question we ask, if you text in...
Who's driving? Just before you run off, one of our ardent listeners met me and suggested that to me. Can any consideration be given to making the Cemetery Hill from its intersection, coming down Lucas Street, like coming down just from GBN where you can swing up to go Cemetery Hill? Can this be made into a one-way street completely? Because vehicles are always parked there. We have the Dr. Francis Alexis office and vehicles there, the teachers and so forth at PBC is there, and it's like an accident waiting to occur. Can any consideration be given to make that a full-time one-way street?
That is possible, but there must be some consultation and consideration going into it, and therefore, once it becomes necessary, however, I will bring it to the relevant authorities so that at least they can ponder and think about that decision and making it into a one. Because I do see the danger as the concerned citizens saw, and definitely we have to look at it because, as we state, it will definitely be a recipe for that disaster in the near future as we have this influx of vehicles along our roads. So it is something that we have to look into and make a decision sooner rather than later.
Thank you for giving it your consideration as always. And to your rest of your team at the traffic department, have yourself a great Monday and continue doing your great works.
Thank you very much, and have a blessed day to you and also to your listeners.
Thank you very much. Folks, that's the traffic report for this morning. We take a quick break, a commercial break. When we come back, we've got a riser, and subsequent to that, we've got a Minister for Health, the Honorable Philip Telesford.
Our world is filled with rhythm. Rhythm that's unapologetic, infectious, timeless. Rhythm is commitment in action. It's how we show up for each other with unrelenting support that goes the distance. Rhythm lives in the tiny beats of our most intimate moments and the seismic roars of our biggest achievements. Rhythm is resilience in motion. So even when things go out of sync, we do what it takes to bring the rhythm back. At Flow, we understand your rhythm because we live it. That's why we're dedicated to building a network as resilient as you, with a team of familiar faces working every day to keep you on beat. You're at the heart of everything we do, and our commitment is to keep your rhythm flowing, no matter what.
Looking to shop online from your favorite stores like Amazon and Shein? With GPC Global, it's never been easier. Get your very own US address and shop from around the world. With GPC Global, you can order the latest trends and must-have items, all delivered straight to Grenada to your closest post office for your pickup. We offer the cheapest rates, and our service is reliable and quick. No more waiting for weeks for your packages. Your satisfaction is guaranteed. Join the Grenada Postal family today and start shopping smarter. Visit us online at www.grenadapostal.com or call us on 437-POST. That's 437-7678. GPC Global, your gateway to the world.
Wow, girl, some cool air finally. I know, right? I just installed the air conditioning. I'm glad you're here. Look at my Grenlec bill from this month. Tell me what's different.
Well, the bill analysis is showing that the number of units you used went down each month. Congrats on that.
But look at the total charges line. It's like I'm paying more for less.
Pay special attention to the fuel charge and adjustment. As you can see, the fuel cost was higher during those months.
So when Grenleg has to pay more for fuel, I get the charges?
Well, yes. I mean, when your suppliers charge more for the flowers and fruits out of season, don't you have to charge your clients more too?
Well, that is true.
But look at the last couple of bills. The fuel charge dropped and the adjustment was a credit. So you actually paid less per kilowatt hour or unit.
And I was really happy about that too. I get it. No matter what the fuel charge and fuel adjustment charge are, once I am managing my usage, I'm on the right path.
Welcome, viewers and listeners. It's 22 minutes after 7 o'clock. The conversation is on. And, you know, on Mondays, joined by my writing B, Miss Josephine George. Yes, I have to ensure, and
Jojo is fine.
Jojo is fine, but it's finer to say Mrs. George.
Okay, my dear.
I have to put a handle to your name.
Okay, sir.
Lovely, lovely. How was your weekend?
It was good.
Okay.
It was a great weekend.
Okay. You went to church?
I did.
All right.
Did you?
Yeah, of course.
Good.
The church was awesome yesterday.
It was awesome. It was good.
Right. On Wednesday, I had Miss Marquez that gave us a sort of synopsis of what the AGM was. You're going to share some of that with us?
Oh, she did. All right. Well, no, my thing is very different. I'm just going to say thanks.
Okay.
Really?
Yes. Okay.
Thanks to everyone who attended. She gets into like the financials and and that's different. We do it money-wise. That's
12
very, very different, right? I knew she would get into that, so that's okay. But for me, I'd just like to say thanks, wholehearted thanks. We saw what a whopping turnout of shareholders. We were really, really very pleased with the turnout. And let me say, on behalf maybe of the staff, because the chair already bade them farewell, to 2 directors who served for 2 consecutive terms. So that's it for them. That's Miss Peterlyn Cooper and Michelle Sayers Griffith, and brother, I'm saying Miss, but it should be brother and sister really. So Brother Kimani Daniels has been elected for a 2nd term because he was on the board already, and we have Brother Robertson serving now a 1st term. So see why I tell you it's important, and people were happy to vote. Yes, because it's you having your say. You
so
are.
Do people campaign and stuff for
no, not that I know of.
Okay.
Sorry, and we had people express themselves, the good, the things they liked, the things they didn't like, and the things they didn't like, we committed to working on them. Fortunately, we were already working on them, and the things they like, we will improve on.
Okay.
Yes? Good. So thanks again to everyone. I mean, I know I was here making a clarion call for us to have our say, come down to the AGM, and we did. So thank you so much to everyone who attended.
So all in all, the AGM was...
Oh, it went well. It went
success.
well. Yes, it went well.
Okay.
Brother Larry Barry, good morning. Brother Larry Barry had a lot to say. So
he he's that kind of guy.
Oh, but he's been very involved in the credit union, and so
that's deep
and
individual.
so yes, so there we go with the AGM. Now it's August.
No, it's July.
Yes, but we're saying I was about to finish August holidays.
Yes.
I tend to not say summer so much because we don't have summer here.
We get a lot of rain.
But we do. But the holidays are here. It's a holiday season. When people take holidays to be with their family, with their children too. But it's also disaster preparedness time, and we have to be cognizant of these things. So here are two things I'd like to tell you about. The Simplify loan, which obviously if you have a something here and a something there and a something there, meaning a debt payment, or and then you still want to purchase something, because we can all get into a bit of a tizzy having all these different payments, right?
Too stretched.
And yes, and you want to consolidate, there is your Simplify loan. Speak to one of your loans officers and let's see how we can simplify your life by simplifying your loan payments so that we consolidate. You have one payment, you have more cash in hand, that's what it means, and you should be more comfortable. Now, be honest when you come to us. Don't leave out a piece and leave out a piece. And then at the end of the day, we think we've made a good fix, but you're still worried because there's that something maybe that you owe a neighbor, that you owe a friend, that you, because you thought probably you wouldn't qualify for the loan. It doesn't make sense for you. It puts you in a deeper hole. So be honest with your loans officer and let's see how we can work with you so that you are comfortable, so that we help to simplify your life. And our Flexi loan. Flexi is not limited to anything. The Flexi is for everything. So someone may want to stay at home and just enjoy the summer. And why not enjoy the August holidays? Children to go back to school. You may want to take a vacation. And why not?
You deserve it.
Some of us do deserve it.
Most cases.
So in that case, come into us. Chat about it. What if you have a Flexi loan? You've been paying your Flexi loan and you didn't really think to top up. It's simple to top up. You can go to your device. You have AMIE, A-M-I-E, Ariza Mobile Internet Experience. You go on there and you choose the loan option. You choose the top up. You will. It's easy as 1, 2, 3. If you have difficulties, call 534-1111. We will direct you to someone or assist you with that process, because you don't have to come into the credit union, wait in a line to do a very simple process.
Okay.
Just like I told you, my friend who had some money on her transaction savings, and she happened to call the marketing number, didn't realize who I was speaking to after a little while. She wanted to transfer it to her lifetime savings because she has asked somebody to deposit, and they deposited it into the wrong savings. So I was able to help her right on the phone, and she was very thankful.
I mean, this is remarkable because life has gotten so busy.
Well, and we live, it's a technologically driven world. So this is why we were able to have such a resounding success at the AGM, because it was hybrid. So some people attended online and some people came in person. Right?
Yeah.
You have to move with the times.
Yeah.
So if you go onto AMIE, then you're able to and get online. Send us an email, loans@arizacu.com. Someone will attend to that email and direct you to who you need to be directed to. As I say, when you get to your loans officer, be honest. Some of us, we have to admit, are not as tech savvy as others. Okay. So for the first time that you do this, you may want to walk through, whether it's the transfer or whether you're making a payment, whatever it is that you're doing, you may need a little help, and that's all right. That's what we're there for. So you have these two options before you. Don't be bogged down, and here comes school or whatever life throws at you, because it may just be the repair of the house. It may be the insurance that you need to pay. People, don't get into this. The season is here. Don't leave yourself exposed, right? So chat with us. Have a chat with us on what your options are. We are solutions oriented.
And not only that, we're family.
Well, of course we're family.
We're all part of the
We were so happy to see the shareholders.
Yeah.
One lady said to me, I'm not coming inside because I haven't eaten yet. I came straight from work so I served her, she ate, and then she came inside. We're family, okay? Yes, so come in, let us know. You may just have the amount that you need in your hand because you already had a flexi loan and you just didn't top up. And you need just that little bit to tide you over. You may not, because you have several loans. One may have been an old loan, you don't even realize what the balance is, and that we can actually combine these things and you have one simple payment.
And that's the way we do it at the right.
Yes, so we're trying to simplify your life and so that you can relax. We also have your comfy loan where you just want something. $10,000 is the maximum. You want to spruce up something for your house. You want to get your solar panels, maybe a water tank, something to just make you that. That's why it's called comfy. Right. Ease your mind. Comfy here. Yes. So come in and talk to us.
Yeah, as always. And someone will be there.
Or someone will attend to you.
Definitely.
Yes.
Thank you, Jojo.
Thank you so much. You have a wonderful week. And to those in TV and radio land, enjoy.
Yeah. I think one of these days I'll call Mr. I'm aging, boy.
Aren't we all?
I'm aging.
With every passing day.
Mr. Mervyn Lord. And say, you know what, I think I want Jojo to stay with me for the entire morning and just have a blast the morning, you know?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, you can call him. He might not object to that.
No, definitely. Of course not. Bring my love as always back to Team Ariza.
I will.
Keep on flying.
And you keep on keeping on.
That's exactly what I do.
We say with no wings, fly because we're your wings.
Yeah.
And then we give you wings and we say, look, your wings.
Yeah, I'm like
now
Red
you
Bull.
can fly.
Like Red Bull, yeah.
There you go.
Folks, that's the Ariza moment this morning. Stay with us. We take a commercial break. When we come back, I've got Minister for Health, the Honorable Philip Telesford, who will be joining us. You can stay with us. Don't you go anywhere.
Calling the CARICOM community, assembling Global Africa, the 4th edition of the Afri-Caribbean Trade Investment Forum. Active 2025 is coming to St. George, Grenada, this 28th to 29th July. Join government and business leaders, investors, and trade and finance institutions to explore the theme, resilience and transformation, enhancing Africa-Caribbean economic cooperation in an era of global uncertainty. Be there as we stand together to strengthen our commercial ties, to promote shared trade and investment opportunities, and unlock prosperity for Africa, the Caribbean, and the wider diaspora. The 4th Afri-Caribbean Trade and Investment Forum. Reserve your place now at active2025.com.
Fitness Revolution 11 2025. 16 days of fun, fitness, laughter, energy. I just want to encourage everybody to come down to both Tantin, Old Trafford, Plainfield, and Monroe's Granans for an eventful, fun fitness and giveaways. Fitness Revolution 11, one and all. See you there.
It's a busy world, and we all know the saying, time is money. Meet Candice and Oliver. They both have busy days ahead. Let's see how that goes. Candice is in a rush, off to the bank, again. Oh, looks like she didn't plan for traffic, or this long line either. Now let's check in on Oliver. His morning starts a little differently. Using his phone, Oliver makes a peer-to-peer transfer and pays his bills, all while having his morning coffee. At the store, Oliver checks his finances with online banking. Candice? Still waiting. Back to Oliver. He stops at the bank to meet his loan officer. While waiting, he schedules a payment and makes a wire transfer. Wondering about Candice? Yup, still waiting. Candice could be like Oliver if she uses Co-op Bank's e-solutions. Make your day easier with Co-op Bank's swift, simple, and secure e-banking platform. Bank on your terms, from anywhere, at any time. Click, tap, done. Banking just got easier.
Welcome home.
Fly the Jones swoosh, it's Lava Man, and you already know the energy. It's all about GBN Spice of the Carnage Soca Mona competition. This year is going to be greater, bolder, more exciting than ever. And it's all about the quarterfinals on the 25th of July. The 31st of July will be the semi-finals, and the August 8th finals. Artists, if you think you have what it takes to own the stage, now is your chance. Get there, be there, see you there. Lava Man, the real mad one. Fly the Jones swoosh. GBN Spice of the Carnage Soca Mona competition.
Welcome back to the conversation, folks. As promised, firstly, let me tell you the time. It's 23 minutes on to 8 o'clock. And as promised, I've got with me the Honorable Philip Telesford. He is the Minister with responsibility for health. He's also the parliamentary representative for the constituency of St. George's North, Southeast. Good morning, sir. Welcome.
Good morning. Thank you. Thank you so much. Well, good morning to all of Grenada.
Yeah, and the world.
And yes, and all those in the diaspora.
I know I have some friends in New York that when I announced it this morning that you'd be here, they postponed whatever they were doing to ensure that they listen to your conversation, because the Ministry of Health is a very tasking responsibility. Yep. And taking into consideration that you are not professionally in the health field, so having to manage an area that you're not au fait with, it has to bring out some really, really deep intestinal fortitude and everything like that. How are you managing?
Yes. Well, I would say I'm managing fair enough. I mean, there is a lot of room for improvement as far as I'm concerned. What I've sought to do is tap into my own managerial experience that I've been able to acquire over the years. So leadership for me is important. But we have done well because we have sought to understand the underlying root cause for most of the problems that confront us, and so we've been moving to address them. So a lot of it stems from human resource deficits and I keep saying that there is a huge deficit in human resources. We have now designed a system, a program to expedite the human resource availability in the system. We've also looked at the scholarships that have been offered over the last 10 or so years, recognizing that the government have spent over $70 million in scholarships over the last 10 or so years, with very, very little to show in terms of people on island. I'm talking about medical professionals. And so we have examined that. We've looked at it. We have a report that is in. Submission will be made to Cabinet to treat with that. We've looked at the nursing program. And again, another submission will be done. We've looked at the pharmacy. Again, a submission is going to be done for that. So we've conducted a number of studies to understand root causes and how we can address it. SOPs in terms of standard operating procedures for various aspects of the hospital management that is on the way. The IT infrastructure too that is has been implemented to a large extent, but there's a lot more work to be done there. So we've sought to address the root causes. Health is not an attractive ministry in the sense that even when you go on conferences, it's like you're going to real work. I mean, there is no playtime, there is no downtime. And even those who work at a hospital, I mean, people come, they say all sorts of things, but they do not understand the level of sacrifices that people are making. I'll give you a typical example. In our system, we have one nurse to about 20 plus patients.
Wow.
And internationally, it should be 1 to 4. One nurse to 4 patients. So a typical Grenadian nurse does about 4 to 5 times more than what the average international nurse does.
Now, how does that affect the efficiency and so forth?
Well, of course, it affects the efficiency because our nurses and professionals in the system, and we talk on nurses, but there's a lot that happens behind the scene that drives the work of the nurses. If the equipment not functioning, and if medication is not available, and pharmacy is down, or whatever computer system is down in the background, or even power, it affects everything else. So, but I'm saying that it does affect because people are overworked, and they're telling you, Minister, we overworked. I mean, I've had instances where people call on the phone in tears, saying that I can't take it anymore. It's just too much. And that is one of the reasons why some of our people actually leave the system. We've had some of our people who have done the masters and so, and have written papers on why people leave the system, and almost all of them is pointing to the same thing, and they've made strong recommendations for what we can do to improve. So we have embraced these studies, and we are seriously looking at improving our system, and I think we are making headway. But it's a slow grinding process because, again, the mechanism with which we work, Department of Public Administration, and sometimes I even wonder if they understand what we are up against. I'll give you another example. If you have to hire a nurse or a doctor, it takes at least 6 months from the application to the actual hiring of that professional in the system.
Why?
Well, God alone knows why. Well, God and DPA knows why. Now, and that is painful. And it takes another 3 or so months after you're hired to actually get paid. And this is the reality that we're up against. And so a nurse or doctor could well be out of pocket for 9 months after completing the study.
That's unacceptable.
It is unacceptable.
That's totally unacceptable.
And you see, if we don't expose these things, if we do not talk about these things not going to get fixed. And I keep saying what we need to do is to allow the Ministry of Health to do the hiring for these positions.
Yeah.
We cannot continue to make the same mistake time and time again because it is not working. And the question is, who are the best people to hire the doctors? it should be and ought to be the team of medical doctors in the system, the chief medical officer, director of medical services, and these people who function at that level alongside the PS and so on.
Of course,
and the
with
human resource manager.
Of course, with some governmental oversight and so forth.
Well, of course. I mean, there is always governmental oversight, but I'm saying within the context of the ministry should be able to hire the professionals in the system and pass the information on to DPA. And I'll go to my grave saying that this is something that needs an urgent fix. I believe my voice is going, but and my apology for that. But those things has to be fixed because a doctor, a nurse do not want to sit and waiting on you. So they'll take the first plane out if they can.
If they have to, if they're forced to.
And so we have to fix these things urgently.
Okay. Now, my main reason for asking you to come on the program this morning is because I was bombarded with calls for the last week of a situation where, as a matter of fact, someone said to me, people are being ventilated in ambulances because there was a power outage, and people who are on ventilators and so forth in ICU and other departments, especially ICU, had to be in an ambulance being ventilated because no power. And from an hospital standpoint, that is unacceptable. When I heard that, I am saying, what if someone was on a life-saving or life-threatening surgery? What happens to that person? So what is that situation with the power supply in the general hospital?
So this is not a laughing matter. This is extremely serious.
But is it true, firstly? Is it true?
So we've had some outages. So there is a dedicated line from Grenada that serves the hospital. And we have not been having outages in years, but we have had some outages over the past couple of weeks that on that dedicated line. Grenada, of course, they're doing their best to resolve the issue. Apart from that, we have a generator that automatically kicks in. This time around, that did not happen. So the automatic transfer switch failed. So, but not only that, the monitor failed. The monitor, there is a screen that tells you what is wrong. That screen also failed. And so we have moved expeditiously to try to resolve the matter. So we had outages for between 10 to 15 minutes from time to time. But right now, and the challenge that we faced then was that when you tried to put on the generator manually, it was not going on. So we had to depend on the mercies of Grenada, and they move rather quickly to resolve the issue. Now, this is very serious. So we have called in the engineers, called in Grenada. We've, really tried our best to try to resolve the issue rather quickly, and by tomorrow, hopefully, that screen will be installed. We've been able to source a screen, and that will be installed. Presently, we've been able to get being able to now switch on manually, and it works. So that has helped immensely also, and so we are many steps closer to resolving that issue. And so, but let me just say, we at the Ministry of Health had commissioned an electrical audit. We have gotten the engineers to do an electrical audit, and that happened a couple of months ago. So we understand now where we are in terms of the age of equipment, the age of the wiring in the system, and what needs to be done. So we do have that, and we have already started the process, and that's being conducted at all 3 hospitals. That is what the mission is. And so the fix has begun. I could say for Princess Alice, for example, we are about 90% complete in terms of a sort of rewiring where necessary. So in terms of, heeding the recommendations from the electrical audit, we are about 90% complete at the Princess Alice. And so it's a work in progress. We always try to take a scientific approach to resolving issues. It's not about putting a plaster on a sore and getting a quick fix. We have to understand root causes, and that is why we did commission a few months ago an electrical audit. And so we are moving expeditiously to resolve these issues.
Okay. So is it safe to say that the level of emphasis and urgency that a hospital requires, because hospital is life and death, you understand? Can we safely say that we will be up to that level at the soonest time, as soon as yesterday?
Up to what level? I mean, in terms of
where we do not have to panic about if there will be a power supply interruption and so forth.
Right. So I think the most important thing is to have the automatic transfer switch kicking in automatically. So right now, what we do, we have somebody stationed ready to flip on manually. Again, it's human resource that you have to dedicate for that purpose. So that is happening now. That is a sort of temporary measure that is in place to facilitate any possible outage. But the reality of the situation is that we need a comprehensive fix. So we have sourced the monitor. It should be installed by tomorrow, and other fixes that has to happen in the system. We believe that, well, I believe that by the end of this week, we should resolve completely the outstanding issues. But I can tell you for sure that the engineers, both the consultant person that we have sourced to assist us alongside Grenlec, they are working expeditiously to resolve these issues.
Because I would love to hear from a Grenlec's perspective, if there's a line dedicated to the hospital, and as I keep emphasizing, hospital is life and death. So what could have gone wrong with a committed and dedicated line to the hospital?
Well, I can't answer that. I mean, as you rightly say, you should hear from Grenlec. But you remember, these are equipment. You're dealing with equipment, you're dealing with machinery. So things do go wrong from time to time. Even on our human bodies, things go wrong and you don't even know what's the root cause. But I guess the engineers are troubleshooting to resolve it. But we are called upon to be patient. Sometimes in these circumstances, our response makes the difference. How we respond. If you respond out of panic, sometimes you do the wrong thing. Yeah. So we need to be calm. We need to understand that the issues are being resolved. We are working expeditiously. We have not fallen asleep on the wheel. Our team is working around the clock to ensure that we have these issues properly and thoroughly resolved.
Whereas it would be safe to say that as it relates to the human resource factor in the health system, it could be, it's easy to say that, and rightfully so, it's an inherited problem. But having taken up the leadership of the health ministry, did you do an audit of the mechanical infrastructure? Because that too could maybe, some machines last up to a time, and maybe they might, certain equipment might have outlived their usefulness and maybe need a total renewing of the equipment in the sector.
Okay, the analysis was done, but not in that way. For example, let's look at the kitchen. We have built a brand new kitchen with brand new equipment, and that was a huge problem because we have to feed the people at the hospital. And I keep saying, what we see are the people just in uniforms on the front line: nurses, doctors, orderlies, assistants, and so on. But there is a lot that goes on in the engine room at a hospital. Quite a lot behind the scenes that nobody sees, nobody hears. But the cooks, the maids, the dietitians, the people who prepare the meals, the people who manage the inventory, those people, there's a lot of work that goes on in the engine room there. And we have done a lot to shift that. And so we have a brand new kitchen installed. We did that a few months ago. Also the laboratory. The laboratory maybe have some of the oldest equipment in the hospital. That is extremely important. We have purchased equipment, we have built a new lab. We are now in the process of implementation. Hopefully in a not too distant future we'll be able to boast of a brand new state-of-the-art laboratory meeting international standards, and we are working on that, developing SOPs. We have a consultant on hand assisting us with the development of the SOPs and getting ready for implementation. So yes, so certain equipment, we've recognized the age of it. We recognize that we needed to enhance certain areas, and so we are definitely working on that. What we are planning to do a walkthrough of the hospital, because we do have quite a number of new pieces of equipment, those that have outlived their useful lives and have been implemented. We will do in a not too distant future a walkthrough so that the general public will get a sense as to the level of equipment and the level of service that is currently being offered at the hospital.
My primary reason for inviting you here was to enlighten us as to the power issue at the hospital. So we have 5 minutes left. I'm going to ask you one final question as it relates to health, and then I want to talk to your constituents. If you are to rate or to grade the efficiency of the Ministry of Health, especially as it relates to the operation of the 3 hospitals and even the district clinics and so forth, give them a grade from 100, a grade between 1 to 100. Where would you put us?
So you're doing that so that I can get beaten up by the opposition, because I am a very fair-minded person. I would rate Princess Royal and that's Carriacou. Presently, notwithstanding that there's some deficits in some areas that we're working on, I'll rate them about 85%. I'll rate Princess Alice about 90%. In terms of efficiency, and so on, and they're a smaller hospital, right? So. But St. George's, I would give St. George's about 60%, and this is not to understand what I'm saying. It's easier to manage a small hospital. The larger hospital is more difficult, and I say 60%. And I want you to understand, it has nothing to do with our staff. And I keep making this statement. Our staff at the hospital, the majority, I would say about 95% of our staff, have brilliant attitudes. They're well-trained professionals. They are great at the job. Trust me when I tell you that. There is a small minority who does not have the right attitude, and who, by that, is actually bringing down the rest of the hospital. But the efficiency that we speak about has to do with a combination of human resources, the adequacy of human resources, the level of technology that is available alongside the equipment and all of that, and the actual service that is being delivered. Now, so it means that we have a long road to go to meet the expectations of people. Now, if you were to say, okay, in the circumstances, given the fact that people have to work 4 and 5 times harder than the average doctor, you can say, okay, they may be about 95% accurate, efficient. But if you remove that and you say, look, we should have adequate staff. We should have the equipment. We should have all the medication that is needed. We should have a perfect environment. You would say 60%. So in other words, it is a relative rating.
Okay. Yeah. All right. And
And we do acknowledge that there is a lot to be done, and that is why we put in these mechanisms in place to lift the standard of service, because we are convinced that we can do more, but we need the people in to support us. Our people work hard, they're overworked in a lot of instances. They're great professionals, but we need additional people to share up the work, and so that people can have a more decent and balanced working environment.
Good. Yeah. And because there's a school of thought that suggests that we are not at the moment, and you solidified that to an extent as it relates to the percentage of efficiency and so forth. Some folks are of the opinion that it could have been wiser to up the human resource levels at the existing hospitals and maybe not focus on a new hospital. That's a school of thought.
Well, I think Grenada is facing certain emergencies as far as health is concerned. Health itself is an emergency. I hope they don't make a calypso of that.
Well, that's a nice topic.
Yes. But the truth is, there is an emergency of the hour. Emergency of now. We have to respond. The new hospital is critical. But also, well, I don't understand how we could, after 50 years of independence, 51, we could be here with such great deficit. I mean, have we fallen asleep over those past decades that we all these about $80 million US for doctors only over the past decade? I'm just talking 10 years. Look at the amount of monies that was spent in scholarship. Where are those doctors? We are acutely short, depending on friendly governments to support our system. This is almost insane to be at this position, and so it's not about laying blame, but it means that we, as a people, must have fallen asleep, and we have to wake up and recognize, look, there must be some measure of patriotism, some fiber that runs through our body that says, look, we have to be patriotic. If the government is spending $250,000 US to send me to school, I need to be able to support EC, not US, sorry. I need to be able to support come back and serve the people of Grenada. We got to have a conscience. We got to do better than this.
Okay. All right, so we've exhausted our time, but I can't, when I grab onto someone like you, I love to eat to the bone. All right, because I don't know when I'll get some such meal again. So let's, as it relates to your constituency, if I was to walk through your constituency and meet any of your constituents and ask, how is Philip Telesford doing as your representatives? What am I expected to hear?
Well, some of them will say they've not seen me enough, and I think it's a good thing. I'd rather they say that than say I don't want to see this man at all. But yes, I need to be out a little more. But we have been, I follow a sort of systematic approach. So I've done Upper St. Paul's, coming down that way. So now I am in Mangelo. We had to do Holders Hill last week. We had a little problem, so we could not have done it. So that's going to be done at the end of the month because, of course, I have some engagement that I have to attend to nationally. So I cannot do that until I return. But we've been able to do some good things. I think touching the lives of people for us is most importantly for us. Just yesterday we opened 2 new roads. Well, I shouldn't say new road, 1 new road and recommissioning of a road and bridge. That new road for me is very special because I was approached by a young Jordan, I keep calling her Jaden, young Jordan from Petersfield, who came up to me and said, well, Minister, every time I have to go to school, I have to use 2 shoes. I'm tired of the mud, and sometimes I fall. I had to change my clothes again. She gave me this little story. And I said, well, look, I'm going to I'm going to come and visit you and so on. And that Saturday evening I went down. It was raining and I had to wait, and then she came and so on and so on. And we had the opportunity of hearing her complaint, looking at where she actually lived, and we are able to construct that road for the villagers in that area. And people said they never thought that they was ever going to see that road in their lifetime. And so we are able to respond to that dire need, and for us that was a great accomplishment. Another road, so we call it the Jordan Road in Petersfield.
Okay,
so we actually named
the road after her.
Yes,
that's sweet.
And she was there to deliver a little speech yesterday and expressing her appreciation and so on. We also recommissioned the Pine Hill Road that's close to Copper's Garage yesterday and Bridge, and that was a badly broken road that had to be redone, so we did that. And there are other things that we're doing. We have the playing field at Monterey is kind of vexing a bit, but we dug it up and did some stockpiling and preparing for the actual reconstruction of that playing field. It's taken a little while. We're still waiting on infrastructure for the green light to continue, but that one is a major project for us because that playing field was a very kind of awkward slope for a long period of time. So we are working on that, and we just wait for the green light to continue from the Ministry of Infrastructure. Also, there was a flooding situation at Confer that plagued the residency for many years. So we had to rebuild the two little bridges there. We did one already. That road is not yet reopened, neither the work commission, but it's a work in progress. Again, we're waiting on in Ministry of Infrastructure to just honor some aspects of that. And as soon as that is done, we'll be able to continue the work and have it finished up. So again, these things started a few months ago, but I don't know why things in government take so long, but it is what it is. We continue to be patient and tolerant, and we simply hope that in a not too distant future we'll be able to complete both projects because they are very, very important projects for members of the villages concerned and for the constituency as a whole.
Under your stewardship as the parliamentary rep for the constituency of St. George South East, I get it right, yes?
Yes.
Would it be safe to say that you have basically uplifted the constituency to a level that constituents would safely say, when that bell is tolled and say, okay, election date is that day, overwhelmingly you've done enough, you and your team have done enough that their constituents can say, we need another term of Philip?
Well, it's a work in progress. I think generally, Southeast is a constituency that demands certain things, and I believe generally I have lived up to expectations. But there are certain things that has to be done, right? And the playing field is one of that. I mean, if I can't see election happening and that playing field remains the way it is and they're giving you a second term, these are things that has to be done. And there are certain little projects, they might be small, but they're necessary for the comfort of the people. I don't think that they're demanding too much. I think the ask is reasonable. So we continue to work on that. There is a Bailey's Hill that we need to do some little widening of the road. We've gotten permission from the residents there to do a road widening. These small projects, but they're very important, right? But the thing is, we've been able to meet with the residents and trash out a number of issues. We have 2 training courses running consistently right now, plumbing and electrical, 6 months courses that we're running for people. That is ongoing as we speak, and I believe those things are important, very important. And so we continue to look for opportunities to upskill our people and prepare them for work. So it's a lot happening. We've done run some business courses to help people to understand money management, business management, utilizing the services of a number of people, the audit firm, PKF, GDB, GIDC. A number of people came on board to assist in delivering. These are work in progress. These are things we're doing because it's a matter of lifting people. It's not only fixing some roads and so on, but it's how we treat with the human resource development of the constituency, and we have been working on that. And there are much more things to come.
Mr. Telesford, Minister, the Honorable Philip Telesford, Parliamentary Rep for the constituency of St. George South East. I want to thank you for sharing your time with us this morning. I know you're very busy. On Mondays is usually Cabinet, I think. Okay, and so I want to thank you. Initially, the intent was to have just a 15 minutes, but I know politicians don't usually stay within time frame, so I extended the concessions. Are there any parting words you'd like to leave with us?
Well, I just want to say to the general public, as far as the hospital is concerned, I think we really trying our best. I mean, and I think people need to understand that we do have an acute shortage, and these things cannot be solved overnight. And so to train a nurse or a doctor, it takes years, a lot of years too. So just be patient with us. I believe the people, they really are trying, our professionals in the system. They're trying, the orderlies, the cooks, the cleaners, I mean, you name it, they're trying their best. And I think when we beat up on them, they feel dejected, demoralized. When someone dies at a hospital, people don't know. Our staff has to get counseling. People may not know that. That's why, because they are always touched when somebody passes. They cannot show it on the ward. But we have a counseling unit set up to treat with that. And so we are not numb to the feelings of humanity. And people have families, they have loved ones. And so they are affected when we speak negative, when we try to beat up on them. But we really do try our best to serve the Grenadian public. And there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes. And there's a lot we can speak about. But we're doing our best, and I just ask the general public to be patient. Also, to my constituents, St. George Southeast, I again express my deep gratitude for their support and for their patience, and for especially during my period of illness last year. I'm just so grateful that I'm alive, but God has been extremely good, and I ask for their patience as we continue to work to build a strong and resilient constituency, equipping our young people, and helping some of those who are on the street to get off the street and to become useful. So I want to also say to the young men, let us together build strong careers. Let us love our families. Let us put away the alcohol, put away the ganja, put away the drugs. Let us turn to things that are uplifting and things that can build you up, and be a good role model, be a good citizen, someone that you yourself can be proud of. All right, so if you ask, that's my parting words, and thank you so much, Grenada.
Minister Telesford, thank you very much for sharing with us this morning, and we wish you Godspeed, God go with you, and all the best.
Thank you.
Folks, I have been speaking with Minister for Health, the Honorable Philip Telesford, as he explained on that recent situation, power outage at the General Hospital. I do hope that he answered some, if not all, of the questions that you had in your head. And we look forward to, hearing from our politicians, or especially our members of parliament or ministers and so forth, so that we can hear what's happening because whether you want to accept it or not, the election isn't so far away, right? We're into our third year, so literally the election cycle, we can safely say it started, so we would want to know, we want to hold our ministers and our parliamentary representatives accountable, because they will be coming back shortly and saying, I need your support again. So we want to hear from them. So thank you for your listening and viewing, and that's it for the conversation for this morning. Bye-bye.